Welcome back. I am Paul Chartier. Again, we are honoring Breeders' Cup Month with another equine guest, Michael Blown with Old Friends. Welcome.
Paul, thank you very much.
Thank you for taking time out of your day to come in to talk. Thank you.
Sure.
We saw in the first segment the human side of things with the jockeys. We get revved up about these great equine thoroughbred animals and athletes when they're on the track,
Right.
and then what happens to them?
Well, it's almost like a microcosm of what happens to humans. You know, if you have enough money at the end of the day, you're going to be okay. If you've stocked away your Social Security and your 401k, everything's fine.
Yeah.
But a lot of these horses don't have that.
Yeah.
I go to the sale now and I tell people, you know, while these horses are young, you know, tell them to put a little something away for their golden years. Just don't be like me. Don't waste it all before you get there.
But it's fun along the ride, but, you know, like you said, you got to stock it away. Tell people a little bit about Old Friends, where you're located, and then how you got connected with them.
Sure. Well, we started Old Friends about a dozen years ago as a retirement home for these racehorses because I fell in love with thoroughbreds. And my wife and I both used to write for the Boston Globe. She was a columnist, I was a movie critic. But in the mornings, I used to work at the racetrack as a groom because it was my exercise and I loved it. And I thought it would improve my betting. I thought I would become a better handicapper by hanging around with the horses. Instead, what happened is I fell in love with the animals. And at the end of the day, especially at a lot of the tracks that were up in New England at the time, when they couldn't race anymore, they were just shipped off to, you know, slaughterhouses or, you know, they'd always tell you that they found a nice home with a nice old lady in Maine or something like that, but you knew that that wasn't the case. So pretty soon I realized that I thought in the back of my mind that maybe if circumstances presented themselves, I'd try and do something at some point. And I realized, because I covered the movies, that people were really attracted to movie stars. And I thought, well, these great stars are racing. If we had a place where they could come and see them, you know, this might be able to work. And really, it was never an original idea. You know, I stole my ideas from the horse park because they had John Henry over there. And we put it together, and I thought if people could come and feed these horses carrots, and got the same thrill that I got out of seeing them, it might work. So we started 12 years ago with one horse, a wonderful old mare named Narrow Escape, aptly named. And she was left at the sale at Fasig-Tipton when she didn't get a bid. And we started with her, and now we take care of, nationally, we take care of 154. We have 102 thoroughbreds at our farm in Georgetown, which is our main farm.
And tell people, I know where it is. Tell people how to get there in Georgetown.
It's very easy. First of all, if you're coming down 64, there's signs by the side of the road. There are brown signs all over Payne's Depot. You can call the office, and we'll be glad to give you directions. It's fabulous. And what's happened is over the years, you know, we've had our ups and downs, of course, but it's worked out really, really well. And one of the things that we did was we started working with some of the foreign countries where some of our great stallions go. When they can't make it kind of in America, or the owners get offered a huge amount of money to send them to foreign countries, they'll go off to Japan or Korea or Turkey. And we've been very fortunate so far because Shadai Stallion over in Japan and the Japanese breeders have created this road for us so that when these horses are done breeding over in Japan, we can raise the money and bring them home. We brought home 7 so far. We just brought Silver Charm home last December, who won the Kentucky Derby in 1997 in the Preakness.
Can we watch?
Oh, that'd be great.
Let's watch Silver Charm on the back stretch, and then we'll come right back.
Top of the lane in the Derby. Freehouse gets the lead. Silver Charm on the outside. Pulpit at the rail back to third. And here comes the captain. And down the stretch they come. Silver Charm to the front. On the inside, Freehouse. On the outside, Captain Bodgett. It's Captain Bodgett on the outside. Silver Charm at the rail. Those two to the wire. Here's the finish. Silver Charm by a neck with Gary Stevens. Captain Bodgett on the outside, second by 5. And Freehouse was third. What an exciting Kentucky Derby.
So the Tough Movie Critic has created a place where Silver Charm and not so famous horses can go and live out a full life and not have it be ended quickly.
Yes.
And how many horses do you have again in Georgetown?
102.
And you started this.
Yes.
You started Old Friends.
Yes.
So you really are quite a hero to people
Well-
who love animals and to the animals.
Well, I'd like to think that they like me because I give them good service. I'm really the butler there. As long as I give them carrots, make sure the doctor comes when they need it, and do what they say, everything works out fine. I mean, people think I train the horses to do certain things, but it's exactly the opposite. They're totally in charge, and they train me how to do things.
Michael, it's got to be very expensive to pay for one horse for 1 year, let alone scores of horses. Do you accept donations? Where's your funding come
We
from?
begged for donations.
Can we put your website on the screen? And if anybody wants to find more information about Old Friends and plug in to become a donor, how would they do that?
They can just go to the website, which is oldfriendsequine.org, and there's all kinds of ways. For example, we're bringing War Emblem home in October. He won the Derby in 2002, won the Preakness, almost won the Triple Crown. And what we've done here, Bob Baffert and Victor Espinoza, the team that brought you American Pharaoh, also brought you War Emblem. So what we've done is we've produced these certificates. Barbara Livingston, the Eclipse Award photographer, gave us the great Derby picture of War Emblem. We put it on a certificate, and Bob and Victor, thank God, they signed all the certificates. So we have 300 of them, and because it's the 2002 Derby, we're asking for a donation of $202, and you get the certificate, and you get invited to the welcome home party that we hope to have for War Emblem in mid-October.
Do you have any left?
Yes, we're about halfway there, so we've sold about 150 or 160.
You had no problem getting the horses. Your hurdle is gaining funds
Yes.
to make sure that they're
It's
taken
just
care of.
exactly what Mr. Meek said about
Yes.
the jockeys.
Yes.
Here's the thing that's so interesting. First of all, when we first started, we didn't have a lot of success getting the horses or the money, because it didn't seem like a good idea to a lot of people. But now that we've proven it and people can see the horses and they see how well treated they are, I mean, we have more stakes winners at our farm than any farm in the history of horse racing. But, we
Name
have
some of them.
more than Calumet, more than we have Gulch, who's the oldest living Breeders' Cup winner. He's
Yep.
31 years
Yep.
old. We have Sarava, the horse that beat War Emblem in the Belmont. We're going to get Touch Gold and Alphabet Soup from Medina Springs. Touch Gold, of course, ruined Silver Charm's chance of winning the Triple Crown. So there's this great history. To me, it is. It's like going outside and it's like having Larry Bird, Magic Johnson in your yard, if you're a racing fan. I mean, the idea that Silver Charm's in my backyard totally freaks me out.
Is there any friction with the horses knowing that the one next door beat him in a race?
I'm not sure, but it's very interesting to watch them interact. They're very intelligent animals. People that don't appreciate the magnitude of their intelligence are depriving themselves of a great opportunity and also misunderstanding these horses because they're very, very smart.
Michael, you're in Georgetown. We put the website up, maybe the phone number too, but can people take tours?
Please. We give tours every day at 10, 1, and 3. It's $10 for adults, and I tell people if after the tour you don't like it or you don't think it's worth $10, I'll give you $20. Nobody's ever taken me up on it.
It's never happened.
Not yet. And children under 12 and under are free.
I don't know how this happens. I see school buses at Fayette Mall. I don't know why. What are they doing at the mall? Do you ever get school kids to come out?
We get, and I'm glad you brought that up, Paul, because people don't appreciate the value of these horses. I mean, they can see the value of a thoroughbred being retrained and going over the jumps and becoming an event horse. But just a horse who's retired that can do so much, and we're just scratching the surface. For example, we had some mentally disabled adults at the farm today. We've had Fayette County schools had a whole curriculum based on visits to the farm where the kids would see the vet, the jockeys, and every week they would see somebody else. And it would involve writing stories, drawing pictures, it would involve science. So it would involve all the things that are part of the school curriculum around the horse. And what better place to have it than in Fayette County? So what's happened is these groups are coming to the farm and they're realizing that the value of these horses, we're just scratching the surface.
We're going to connect the dots right now. What does it cost you to maintain one horse for 1 year?
It usually, if there's no major problems, we usually can do it for $2,500. Now, why? I mean, nobody else can do that. And the reason we can is our veterinarian, Dr. Waldridge, has never sent us a bill. Rood and Riddle, our primary equine hospital, the great equine hospital, the best in the world, they knock 50% off our bills every time. So there's no question about if a horse gets injured or needs help, it's available to them. And Tribute Feed, they give us big discounts on the feed. So we can do it a lot less expensively and better than a lot of other places because of that. Now, that doesn't mean we don't need money. We have a lot of horses on the waiting list. We're trying to get the property that goes all the way to the traffic light up to Ironworks Pike, which would add just about another 100 acres to the farm, and we'd be able to get a lot of these horses that are on the waiting list, onto the farm and get the retirement they so richly deserve.
Besides funding, and we'll talk about that when the program's over, what other barriers do you have or hurdles that are coming up that people can help with?
Well, it's basically funding. The other hurdles we can handle. What I like to say is, and this is how it's evolved, we had one of our great owners, Jerry Moss, who owns Zenyatta. He called me one day and he was having problems with a horse in a group, and a horse that he once owned had fallen down the ladder and he lost track of him. He ended up in a bad situation. And I told Jerry, I said, Jerry, listen, when people call you and harass you because they think that you have neglected some horse, just say, look, I race horses, I buy horses, I breed horses. Michael retires horses, and we consider ourselves a professional retirement farm for thoroughbred racehorses, and that's the way we want to be treated, not as a charity or something with the tin cup out all the time.
It's basic respect
yes.
for a living being.
Yes.
You obviously were successful by being a writer in Boston. You now do this. Which one gives you more satisfaction?
Oh, by far this. I mean, I get up every day and I thank my lucky stars. I go out and I feed Silver Charm carrots. He's my favorite horse of all time.
Yeah.
And I get to feed him carrots, and people trust me that I can take care of this horse. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I never really got starstruck around the movie people very much, but I'm totally starstruck around these horses, and they deserve all the respect that we give them.
With your connections from the movie world, cinema world, any bleed over?
Yes.
How so?
Well, Angie Dickinson, the actress, she's a friend of ours, and she came to the farm and stayed for a while. Burt Bacharach, her ex-husband, donated a horse to us named Afternoon Delights, who was a fabulous horse. Kent DeSormo, the jockey, came to the farm one day and he goes, you know what? He said, I won the Derby on Fusaichi Pegasus, on Big Brown, and on Real Quiet, and that horse is the fastest horse I was ever on in my life. He only had 12 starts and made over $1 million, and he beat eventual Derby winner Thunder Gulch. But when Burt retired that horse to us, he gave us $50,000 with the horse. And subsequently, Burt came out with his memoir. And Afternoon Delights gets 2 pages in his memoir. And he goes, forget the Grammys, forget the Oscar, forget the Emmys. He said, the happiest days of my life were in a sunny day at Santa Anita in the winner's circle with this horse. So,
in the last couple minutes, with the Breeders' Cup happening at the very end of October, do you anticipate inviting some of the guests coming in for the Breeders' Cup to come out to Old Friends?
Yes, we are having a great get-together the day after the Breeders' Cup. It's a homecoming party that's on November the 1st, and it's going to be sensational. We do it the day after the Derby every year, and usually with a week to go, we might have 25 to 30 prepaid reservations. By the end of August, we already had over 100 for the Breeders' Cup.
Well, in the last minute, how can people find out where's it going to be?
Well, it's going to be at the farm,
okay,
and a lot of the connections of our horses are going to be there, jockeys, owners, and trainers to talk about it. Jack Van Berg, for example, who trained Ali Shiva, is coming to be our auctioneer. Richard Migliore, who wrote Hidden Lake and A Firm Success, and others is coming. Chris McCarron, John Cruguet, who wrote Seattle Slew, is coming. Craig Perret, who should be in the Hall of Fame. We have a setup with Randy Romero, who's going to come. Who's going to be with us via satellite. I mean, it's going to be an amazing party.
Well, Michael, for that, and we'll close with your website and phone number for that event, or if people want to donate, again, we'll put the website up and the phone number. And best of luck to you. I applaud you for this great phase of your life.
Great, thank you, Paul.
Thank you for coming in.
I'm very grateful.
Thank
you.
Thank you.